Good evening. We are going now to start the press conference by Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi, Joint Special Representative for Syria. I would like to inform you that we have interpretation in English, French, and Arabic. The English channel is number 2, the French channel is number 3, the Arabic channel is number 4. Mr. Brahimi.
Good afternoon or good evening, I don't know. Thank you very much for being here. As you know, we were in Montreux on Wednesday. It was a long day. Participation of a large number of countries and regional organizations. And we moved back here yesterday. You have earphones, please. I can't shout. So I repeat, we were in Montreux on Wednesday and moved here yesterday. I met the delegations of the opposition and the government separately yesterday and again today. And tomorrow we have agreed that we will meet in the same room. When we started talking about this process after the Russian and the American meeting in Moscow on the 7th of May, we never considered that this was going to be an easy process. We knew that it was going to be difficult, complicated, and as I said, I think in Montreux, in our business, certainty is a very rare commodity. The discussions I've had with the two parties were encouraging, and we are looking forward to our meetings tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. As you know, the whole process is based on the Geneva communique of the 30th of June 2012, and I think the two parties understand that very well and accept it. So that is the basis of our discussions. We are going to try and see how this communique that has been endorsed by the Security Council, I think it's 2118, isn't it? Resolution 2118. So we are going to implement a resolution of the Security Council that has endorsed this communique, and the parties understand that. As I said, it's not going. We never expected it to be easy, and I'm sure it's not going to be. But I think the two parties understand what is at stake. Their country is in very, very bad shape. As I said, practically everything I have spoken to the press since September 2012, the situation in Syria is bad and getting worse. And unfortunately, that statement remains valid today. And I think that the people who are here representing the opposition and the government understand that as well as I do, or better. It is their country after all. So the issue, the huge ambition of this process is to save Syria, no less than that. So I hope that, all three parties, the government, the opposition, and the United Nations, will be up to the task. I hope also that the people who support one side or the other also understand what is at stake and will do their share in supporting this process. So wish us luck and ask us 3 or 4 questions.
Okay. Okay, let's start with the lady there, please. Yes, please. Can you please introduce yourself and name your media?
Sure. Hala Saleh from television, Sama from Damascus, Syrian television. Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi, while you are looking for political solutions, there are hundreds of sieged in Adra al-Ummaniya. Civilians, they are being sieged and living with the corpses of their families that have been killed. Let us assume that the opposition coalition accepts Geneva II in all its facets. What weight will that have on ISIS, on the Nusra Front, on all those who are fighting and who are being financing those? Thank you. Mr. Brahimi, there are those who are under siege in Adra and in many other areas, and this is very unfortunate in Syria. The Secretary General of the United Nations has repeatedly called for working on lifting the siege and to ensure access to basic humanitarian needs. Amongst the matters that we discuss today, and though they may not be the main point of the negotiations, but when Syrians meet, they cannot not discuss such matters. Therefore, we will speak some of the humanitarian issues. What weight will that have? If you allow me a minute, says Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi. In the humanitarian issues, we shall discuss them and discuss the possibility of solving them. And the weight you refer to, we are aware that there are parties inside Syria that do not support such a track. This is well known. This is no secret. It is well known to us and to the two parties. Therefore, we must find a way to deal with this situation. Thank you.
Monsieur Samir, yes, introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. May I ask the question in French and a part in Arabic, if you allow? Mr. Brahimi says, I understand a bit of both languages. Mr. Brahimi, you are the prophet for peace in Syria. A year and a half ago, you started moving between capitals and delegations in order to hold this historic conference. The Syrian media says that you are a giant with one eye and several languages. One eye, several languages. If you do not succeed in finalizing this conference, will you resign? This is the first question. My second question, can the Security Council put pressure on both parties to achieve a consensus? Without pressure, nor the official regime or the opposition will get together. Do you think this is possible through the Security Council? Thank you. Mr. Brahimi, when we work as I do, we never speak of resigning before achieving a solution. We do everything in order to achieve a successful conclusion, and then we see. As for the Security Council, I said from the outset that all the countries that influence in a way or another, one party or both, must help us in achieving progress. The Security Council, of course, and within these countries we have the 5 permanent members who have a small influence on the Security Council, and I think the Security Council will stand behind us.
Please, just one question and very brief. Sir, you're taking the mic, please, in front of you. No, there. One of the mics there, please.
Mr. Al-Brahimi, Ahmed Zakaria, the correspondent of Al-Kull radio, which is a Syrian opposition radio station. Did the delegation of the regime give any concessions? We heard that it accepted to release some detainees. Is that true? Also, there is a leakage of information regarding that the regime is linked somehow with ISIS. What is your commentary? Mr. Al-Brahimi, the first question is okay. The second question has no place in this setting. Firstly, we have not discussed the core matters yet. We hope that both parties will give concessions that will be to the benefit of the process.
Yeah.
شكرا.
Are all the journalists Syrians in this room? Asks Mr. Al-Brahimi. Please, go ahead. Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi, Radia Danoon from Al-Akhbariya Syrian television. You said that the biggest ambition is to save Syria. If you allow me, I will speak about terrorism. You totally ignored discussing this matter in detail. Mr. Ban Ki-moon, in the press conference a few days ago, made a point not to respond to questions regarding terrorism. How will you deal with this matter while you are fully aware of the support that is provided? Thank you. Nobody wants for terrorism to continue in Syria. Nobody wants that, except terrorists themselves. Therefore, if we manage to save Syria, saving Syria will be also saving it from terrorism.
Nicolas Vautier de RTS. Nicolas Vautier.
Monsieur Brahimi,
Mr. Ibrahimi from Radio Swiss Television, we heard from Mr. Al-Muallim that he said perhaps that he would leave tomorrow if there is no progress. Could you exclude this possibility that someone will leave tomorrow or during the weekend on the part of one or the other of delegations? Yes, I exclude that possibility. Both parties are going to be here tomorrow. They will be meeting, and then we will decide about the following meeting on Sunday. We will be working on Saturday, and we will be working on Sunday. Nobody will be leaving on Saturday, and nobody will be leaving on Sunday. Thank you.
Mr. Brahimi, when tomorrow both Syrian delegations will gather in the same room, which will be the topic, the first topic with which you will begin the negotiations? Thank you.
You know, I don't like giving my secrets to the press on the first day. But I think the first session will be really to make sure that we understand what we are doing. It will be really practical issues that hopefully will make the discussions later easier.
This is Lan from China Central TV. I'd like to know what's the secrecy of today's talk, and although there's many differences, and how can you manage today's talk can go so smoothly?
Well, you know, with your prayers, I hope that they will go smoothly. And you see, you know, we do expect some bumps on the road. It's impossible that there aren't any in a situation like this. We wanted really these delegations to be designated a long time ago, so that we have had time, 2 or 3 weeks, to talk to them and prepare this better. But you know, we are using this, you know, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, hopefully, to make it as smooth as possible.
If you keep your question short, we can take a few more. The lady there, the blonde lady with the grey coat, yes, the turtleneck. Yes, you.
Yeah.
No, the lady in front of you, please. Yes. short, please.
Yeah. So, are there any signs that Saudi Arabia, Turkey...
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Diana Jadan from SANA, Syrian Arab News Agency.
Another one.
So, this is a conference about Syria, so it's normal that we have a lot of Syrians there. So, are there any signs that Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and other countries would stop the support to terrorism in Syria since they have participated in Geneva too?
Please, there is no point in asking such questions.
Yes, the lady in front.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. The blonde
next
lady
question.
in front, please. The one with the great turtleneck.
Yeah.
The mic, please.
No, not yet.
Okay. Margaret Warner of the PBS NewsHour. Publicly, of course, the Syrian government keeps saying they want to talk about terrorism and confidence-building measures, and we know what the opposition says they want to talk about. Can you pursue all these tracks at once? Can you pursue the transitional governing body conversation along with humanitarian access, prisoner release, and those other issues?
Certainly to talk about those issues, but I think it's very clear to both sides that the meat really of for this conference is how to implement the dispositions in the Geneva communique.
Sir, there. Yes. Can you take a mic? We need a mic. Otherwise, there is no interpretation.
James Bays from Al Jazeera. You've had a day of delay today. A reported threat from Mr. Mualim that he might be going home. If you have more days of delay, are you worried that this whole process could unravel?
I'm worried all the time, even without the delay of today. But I think that we are all right. We are going to meet tomorrow. I hope that it will be a good beginning and that we will continue until the end of next week. At some stage, we are going probably, most probably, certainly, to have a suspension for a few days to allow people to go back, and come to resume. So, as I told you at the beginning, we've gone into this with our eyes wide open. We know it's not easy. It's not going to be easy any minute, but we are doing our best to make it go forward.
I would like to give the floor to the Dean of our journalists, Mr. Gordon Martin. Please, yes. Gordon.
Sir, if I could, in one sentence, ask you, do you have the definite agreement of the two parties to sit together tomorrow? Thank you.
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Okay. John Zarokostas.
Yes. Yes, John Zarokostas from France Bank Cut. Mr. Brahimi, how high on your priorities will it be the access humanitarian corridors for the nearly 3 million Syrians in need of humanitarian assistance? And secondly, the question of immediate cessation of violence, ceasefires.
John, please, I said one question.
Yes, it's a follow-up. Cessation of hostilities.
John, please.
Yes, we are going to talk about access. We are going to talk about, ending violence. But there again, talking about it doesn't mean resolving it. About access, a lot has been done already. A lot of discussions are taking place all the time. Valerie Amos is not doing anything else except that. Things have improved a little bit, never enough, and we will continue pressing for it.
The gentleman there has been waiting for a while. Yes.
Maitham
Zaidi from the Iraqi Al-Watan Al-Arabi. What is the fate of Geneva II if the opposition continues to insist on their conditions? Mr. Brahimi, I do not know what you want me to say. Geneva conference is being held without preconditions, and The foundation for it is a declaration or the communique of the 30th of June 2012. And it is on this basis that we are proceeding, and we ask you for your prayers from Karbala, from Najaf, your prayers.
Mr. Jarva told us yesterday he was delegating or appointing a new chief of the delegation. Has he clarified that to you? Is he staying in Geneva, and if so, in which capacity? Thank you.
Yes, what Mr. Jarba is saying is that he has come as the head of the delegation to Montreux, and they have what they call a chief negotiator. So this is the position, and it doesn't disturb us at all. As long as we have two delegations talking to one another, that's fine. One last question.
This is going to be very hard. The lady with the red, yes, you. Yes. The very last.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Syria, come on.
So am I going to feel guilty if I say that I'm from the national Syrian television? Yes, probably yes. But I'll ask the question anyway. And I thank you, sir, for your answer. I wanted to take up on some of the words you mentioned. Sir, you said that the process is based on Geneva 1, but Geneva 1 itself does contain some controversial or divisive issues. And the delegation of the Syrian Arab Republic said that they had already sent their reservations or their objections to some of the items in this declaration. So where is a solution to this problem? And what about the recent declarations of Mr. Kerry? Well, all of your questions, says Mr. Brahimi. The Geneva Declaration, nobody contested that that is the foundation, and nobody is contesting that there were some differences on the interpretation of some of its items, and inshallah, God willing, amongst the many things that we hope that we will be able to achieve is to clarify the ambiguity on those points. And you too, we ask you for your prayers. Yes, certainly, sir, you have our prayers. We shall be praying